again, like and subscribe to this page. I'll have more top 10s, lessons, tutorials, skateboard reviews, and more history on this thing that we all love.
Number 10 on our countdown, Mr. Tony Alva, the first skateboarding superstar. One of the legendary Z-Boys, he was born in 1957. These guys definitely innovated pool skating, some of the first transition skaters ever to live, and responsible for the birth of modern skateboarding as we know it. He was also the first skateboarder to own his own company, Alva Skates, and to use layered maple wood, which we all use today. Definitely an innovator, definitely belongs on our list. 9th place on our list of the most important skateboarders ever to live, the master of disaster, Dwayne Peters. Lead singer of the U.S. Bombs, formed in 1993. He's been a pool skater since day one. He's credited for inventing tricks such as the acid drop, layback grind, indie air, sweeper, disaster, and my favorite, the invert revert. Definitely one of the most gifted skateboarders ever, but it's his longevity, his tenacity, and his disregard for his own personal safety that makes him one of the most influential skateboarders of all time. Number 8 on our list of the most important skateboarders of all time, Mike McGill. This guy's an innovator of vert skating and is responsible for the first McTwist, which really changed all extreme sports afterwards. That was in 1984 in Sweden. He went on to star in many of the original Bones Brigade movies, such as Search for Animal Jim. Everyone who's ever said the word McTwist in a skate park, in a snowboard park, owes this guy $1. Number 7 on our list, the one and only Stacy Peralta. Born in 1957, Stacy had a beautiful style and even more beautiful hair. However, in the 80s, he assembled the crew of skateboarders called the Bones Brigade and set the world on fire. He produced videos such as Ban This and The Search for Animal Chin that were the Bible to all skateboarders at the time. And the careers of such guys as Tony Hawk, Rodney Mullen, and Lance Mountain would have never been witnessed by thousands upon thousands of skateboarders without his involvement and knack for producing. Number 6 on our list of the most important skateboarders ever to live, my personal hero, Danny Way. And while you think, man, this guy only jumps out of helicopters, think again. He will destroy you on a mini ramp. And while you think, well, he only launches over the Great Wall of China, sorry, the guy does handrails too. Go pick up the questionable video from Plan B and figure it out for yourself. Danny Way is a maniac, a stuntman, a superhuman being, and a really nice guy, but maybe the best skateboarder ever to live. Number 5 on our list, Mark Gonzalez. Voted the most influential skateboarders of all time in 2011. This guy was on the cover of Thrasher magazine at 1984, riding on an Alva skateboard. He also rode for Vision and then started the company ATM Click. There's a Gap in San Francisco called the Gons, named after this guy who basically started modern street skating. The first skater to ever skate a handrail, the first skater to ever Ollie Wallenberg, a poet, an author, and an artist. Some of his skateboards are the most sought after in skateboarding history. This guy has the highest ollie you've ever seen. There's something about the way he rides on a skateboard that is incredible and magnetic and poetry in motion. Mark Gonzalez, number 5. Number 4 on our list, Nadas Kupas. Nadas grew up in Santa Monica, California. In 1983, Nadas won a surfing contest and received a skateboard as his grand prize. 1 year later, he was on the cover of Thrasher magazine doing a wall ride. In 87, he was featured in a movie that changed my life, the famous Santa Cruz movie, Wheels of Fire. In 89, he achieved world fame by doing the hydrant spin, a move that is still revered to this day. Etnies produced a shoe for him, which was one of the most first and groundbreaking pro skate shoes. Now an artist, he's worked for Quicksilver, Larry Flint, Vita Shoes, and others. As we get to the nitty-gritty, the top of the charts. Number 3, Jamie Thomas. Now there is a sophistication and a well-thought plan that goes into all skateboarding now, especially when you're trying to document it. And this style of skateboarding was created by Jamie Thomas, the Chief. Jamie was born in 1974 in Alabama and started skating at 11. He ended up in San Francisco skating with Ed Templeton with Toy Machine. He produced and directed the 1995 film Welcome to Hell, which is one of the greatest movies ever made. He also started many other companies under his own label, Zero, which basically took over the skateboard world. Jamie is extremely motivated, courageous, and media savvy. And his greatest achievement, the leap of faith, is perhaps the most courageous thing ever attempted on a skateboard. Jamie Thomas, number 3. Number 2 on our list, the icon, the success story, the millionaire, Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk is the most successful skateboarder of all time. He has a net worth, steady yourself, $140 million. He has a successful line of video games that were fun to play, I'll grant you that. He created his own tour, which I had the pleasure of skating with him. What an honor. Born in May 12th, 1968, Anthony Hawk was near a genius. He turned pro at the age of 14. This guy has met the president, skated along the White House grounds. He has started a foundation that's built skate parks in needy counties and communities all over the world. All around great guy. Nothing bad to say about Tony, except that he stole the 900 from Toss Pappas. He pulled it first. What can you say? The only thing you can say about Tony Hawk is that somehow his son had the ability and the strength to rise up out of his father's shadow and become a fantastic skateboarder on his own account. So good on you, Riley. Tony Hawk, number 2. Here we are at the top of the list. Number 1, Rodney Mullen. Without a doubt, the easiest decision in this whole process. Easily the most controlled, most gifted, most influential, and most important skater ever to live. Let me just read off a list of some of the tricks he's pulled for the first time. Kickflip, heel flip, 360 flip, impossible, Casper, ollie north, finger flip, airwalk, dark slide, and the list goes on. But more importantly to say, when you're watching someone skate, even if they're better than you, even if they're doing a trick that you can't do, you can imagine it, for we live on the same planet as that skater. Rodney is not that skater. Rodney lives on a whole different plane than us. Rodney has so much control that he flips the board with the bottom of his foot, with the side of his foot, and almost with his mind. It is quite a feat to behold. Now, something that's helped me out throughout my skate career is something he said about his most complicated tricks, is that he focuses on the last part of his tricks. He simplifies it in his own mind and takes out 9 or 10 of the steps and just focuses on the last step or 2. Again, this has helped me immensely. Born in August 17th, 1966 in Gainesville, Florida, this guy had nothing but his little driveway to skate on, and he's arose to be the godfather of all skateboarding, especially street skating. There's nothing more you can say about this guy, except that when you see a good skateboarder and you rank them, there's only been 110 ever to exist, and that's Rodney Mullen. And that's it, my top 10 most important skaters ever to exist. You have a comment, you have a question, please leave it below. Like, subscribe, keep the dialogue going. Let me know what you think. Mahalo.